just a little bit of a trip. I'm gonna title the video like basically what I want to talk about. My current phone, Huawei, that doesn't have Google. My experience on it, and also I just emptied my wallet and purchased a Fold 3. Hold on. And well, shit, I've been insulting iPhone users for purchasing an expensive phone, and here I am, like I just purchased like 20 million Indonesian rupiah for a Fold 3. 25 million rupiah. It's basically like the US price. I think it was $1,800, $1,799. It's basically around that price, and it's the same price as an iPhone, like the most spec'd out iPhone 12 Pro Max. And I bought it. I pre-ordered it. I didn't buy it. Need to wait for a month till it said that they're gonna send it on September 30th. So yeah, I have a Mate 40 Pro. It doesn't have Google, and I've been using it for 6 months. I purchased it in February. You can see my phone. Hold on. Am I even allowed to do this? Like that's my Mate 40 Pro. I have it 6 months. Purchased on February the 1st actually. So it's pretty much 6 months. And I love the phone. I do like the hardware, but since day one, my biggest problem, which is basically my workflow, my work involves using WhatsApp, and since WhatsApp backs up chats, so WhatsApp, as you might have known, or if you don't use WhatsApp's chats basically uses Google Drive to back up chats. So if you transfer from a phone into another phone, you need to back up the chat into Google Drive first. Then you restore the chat through the same account on the Google Drive. And I can't back up my chat, so which is first. Well, I kind of expected before I purchased the phone, because I do know that the chat is backed up by WhatsApp. I'm gonna actually take a detour here. I wanna buy Starbucks. I haven't had Starbucks in what is it? I haven't had Starbucks in a long time. I'm gonna purchase Starbucks and drink it during this trip. Haven't had Starbucks in years. Well, not in years. In year, I think I had it like a year before, when I had a little trip with my coworker. So this is not gonna be a fun footage to watch me. It's me just buying Starbucks. So BRB. So I got my drink. I got Starbucks. I'm happy. I haven't had Starbucks in a long time. This is not coffee, by the way. This is signature chocolate. Their signature chocolate, so good. Got it right here, Starbucks. So I changed the position of the camera. I just realized, and I figured out that I should have put it on so the last recording, my silent driving vlog thingy, or basically I don't talk. It overheated. It overheated in 40 minutes of the trip, and it wasn't even 4K. It was 1080, and I did place it way too close, pretty close, like really close. Okay, really close in to the windshield. So now I figured that I should have put it further away, but really near me. I should not talk like too loudly now. I talk loudly because I feel like the camera is pretty far away, but the camera actually has pretty good mic, so I don't need to talk loudly. So now the camera is like near me, away from the windshield, and I think it's fine, looking fine. I figured that I place it near the windshield for better FOV on the road, but I feel like it's producing the same FOV anyway. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna put it like this way, so I can avoid overheating. I think the camera is not. Oh no, it's still hot. Then, well, best of luck, camera. Don't overheat. I'm gonna drink my chocolate, not coffee. Holy crap, that's sweet. Oh my god. I haven't had it in a long time. I forgot how sweet it is. It's signature chocolate. Also, this paper straw thing, fuck off. Better for the environment, yes. That's a topic for another day. I have an opinion on that. Like this paper straw thing, it's not gonna help the environment. We have bigger problems that is destroying the environment, and it should be regulating the companies and industries first, then the consumers. Because it is a topic for another day. But in TLDR is, for my opinion, is we should regulate industries and companies first, then consumers should adapt. This paper straw thing isn't helping the environment. I don't agree. So anyways, back to Huawei. Hold on, I cannot see the camera. I cannot see the screen because it turns off. I don't know if I can turn on. Oh, the battery is dropping. So another reason why I'm doing this trip, what is going on? I haven't speak English in a long time. Okay, I've been in 2 years, 2.5 years. I've been speaking speaking my native language more frequently than English. So my English is super fucked. Damn, I was going to overtake this guy. Then I'll take the other lane. You can have this lane. Take the other lane. There is no reason why you should take that lane, truck. You should take the most left. But it's Indonesia anyways. Welcome to Indonesia, motherfuckers. Okay. I've been using, so the first day was WhatsApp problem, and I've told in the first minute of the video, kind of back up the WhatsApp chat. So basically what I've done, what everyone has to do, if you use WhatsApp and you want chat transferred into your Huawei phone, you have to dig through the folders and the WhatsApp folders, and it's kinda annoying, but for techies it's fine because we used to dig through folders. But for normies, for mainstream users, that is not an acceptable solution. I think Huawei could have done this better and make a separate app that transfers that official. I think you can use an application and dig through that specific folder and just transfer it. Huawei should have made an app or hire a third-party developer to make an app and if possible put it on Play Store, but I'm not sure if they are allowed to do that, to make this process easier basically. Now my biggest problem is the cloning app, the twin it's called the twin app. Basically now phones have two SIMs, right? Like in Asia, I know in the US, and I'm not sure about Europe, you guys don't use two numbers basically, right? Most of you have only one number and that's it. In Asia, two numbers is common, so basically we use cloning apps. We use two WhatsApps apps and a phone. The twin app, you cannot find the folder in the PC, in your PC, or in your phone, or even in your PC. There is no possible way, because the cloning app folder is inside the system app and you cannot access the system app, and that's an issue. So basically there is no possible way for you to back up your chat, back up or restore your chat into the twin app, into the secondary WhatsApp app, the clone. And now, like, I went, so what I've done is I just screenshot the chats. So I just screenshot the apps, right? The chats. So that's fine. I saved the chat by screenshotting it and put it on Telegram, and I can review the chat if I want to. But it's still annoying because I handle customers, and sometimes customers complain that they say this, I say that, and I have to prove it by forwarding their messages, which I cannot if this is if I cannot restore the chat, I cannot do that. But thank God that I don't have that issue. But there is that scenario. Now another problem that I have in my WhatsApp on my Huawei is, for some reason, and I've told this to Huawei support. Basically, they say that that's only me, and they have never heard of this problem on any other Huawei devices. So what happened is, you get, when someone sends a picture to you, I said you can choose to manually download or automatically download the picture, right? So I basically set it like everyone else, automatically download the picture, because it's pretty annoying unless you're in a huge group. That I usually turn it off on my other number, but on this number I turn it on automatically. So I open the picture, I can see the picture. The picture is saved into my gallery, and then if I close the WhatsApp and for some time I open it again, it asks me to download it again, and that is really annoying. And I download it, I see the picture, I close it again, and they ask me to download, and in my gallery there is like multiple of these photos. Like, that's what happened. So I think what happened is, like, there's some, and this happens, at the first time this happens only on the clone app, 100% rate that this happened. Then I stopped using the clone app, I used a second phone, and then I went back to my Huawei and I used my clone app, because it's really annoying to have two phones operationally. I have to operate two phones, and it's annoying. I have a second phone, is basically for other stuff, for entertainment, I'm watching movies and listening to music and stuff. But the point is, I went back to my Huawei, used the clone app again after months, and it didn't happen that frequently, but it still does. it does it like one picture a day. If I get like 10 pictures a day, it happens one picture a day, but it happens every day, and that's really annoying when you're, especially in pandemic. I cannot go to customers exchange bills, so we exchange bills through WhatsApp. That is a big problem for me, right? So that's really annoying. And yeah, so I cannot review bills. I have to download it again, and it's really annoying. I can see, I can go through my gallery, but my gallery is like a shitstorm. It gets flooded by other things. So that affects my workflow. And what else? So I've talked this to Huawei, and they basically say that this is only me for some reason. I've tried uninstall WhatsApp completely, and then I've tried uninstall the clone app. Then I've tried uninstall the whole WhatsApp. And then it affects the issue. I think my only way, my only fix is to basically wipe out my phone. I have to wipe out my phone, and that sucks. I ain't doing that. That's too annoying. That's too much work. I don't have time to do that, and I cannot afford losing my chat, because it's like I'm like losing my chat and then do the screenshot thing, save it to Telegram, and then if I want to change my phone, I have to do that again. I am not doing that. So I've decided to buy a new phone, a Google phone. So another big thing. Okay, so I can kinda live with that, because chats gets old and irrelevant over time, if you know what I mean. So I can just save the most recent one if I want to change my phone. But the biggest one that is a big problematic reason why I have to change my Huawei phone. I live in Indonesia, so so the application that officially recognizes you as vaccinated, so the certificate, my vaccination certificate is inside that application. So the app is available on the app gallery. So there's two versions of this app. So there's the app gallery and the APK Pure, which is just basically like which is basically a store that takes from the Play Store and install it unofficially, but it's still the original APK. So that's APK Pure. So I've tried the app gallery first. Obviously, I take the app gallery first, and it doesn't. So it doesn't show the certificate. So that's a problem. So I've tried the APK Pure. The APK Pure version of the app, you can. Oh, shoot, went too fast. You can view your certificate, but the problem is, so another function of that app now, if you want to go to malls or closed buildings, but right now it's just malls, if you you have to scan and check in using that app only. That's the only way you can go through. It's not technically the only way. It's the easiest way. You can, I think, ask the guard to let you in and just show proof of the certificate. So I can still show the certificate to the guard, but like that's really annoying. I have to talk about that and show more proof, like my ID and stuff. That's really annoying. So what they've done is you scan the barcode and you just check in and you just show the barcode that show the proof that you're checked in to the guard, and that's really easy, right? I cannot scan. I can scan, but I cannot check in at all. I've talked to Huawei about this.
Huawei support, and their only solution is to use what's called GApps. So GApps is a virtual machine that has Google services, and I don't like that solution. I used to use GApps, but it wasn't GApps. GApps used to not work. So there's two apps, two of this app. So there's GApps and Dual Space. So they both work the same way, except GApps used to not work. Dual Space used to work. Now Dual Space doesn't work. GApps works. That is confusing AF. So, and the reason why I don't like GApps and Dual Space is because privacy issues. So I used to use dual apps on my WhatsApp, and that was fine because I don't give a shit about privacy on WhatsApp. But problem with this application is it's integrated with my ID. So I have a big reason why I do not want to use GApps on this app at all. That's I am not gonna do that. I'm so sorry. And the Huawei rep said that that's the only way. So that's a big issue. And after that, I decided to buy a new phone. I can't live with Huawei. I've tried even a tech. I consider myself as a techie. I used to tinker. Now I don't have. My problem is now I don't have that much time to tinker. I just need things to work. So I gave up. If I was in college, but I think even if I was tinkering, I still will give up because of this vaccination thing. The application that showed my proof that show proof that I'm vaccinated. It's just impossible. There's no way I'm gonna use that GApps on that application that's integrated with my ID. No way. So I decided to buy a new phone. My options is so where am I gonna go? Let's go to the beach. I hope I still remember the way. How long have I been driving actually? I've been driving for an hour? Wait, what? Really? No way. Where the hell are we going? Where the hell are we going, people? We are so confused. I'm gonna drink my chocolate thing. I hate this paper straw. So yeah, my choices of phones. I love my Mate 40 Pro for the display. Face ID is 3D face scanning is really convenient at nights. I like it, the convenient, but it's not important. Camera's amazing. Periscope zoom lens is I find it important for me, but it's not completely I have to have it, but it's nice, really nice to have. I love Periscope zoom lens. 5x optical zooms are nice. Battery is important, display is important, like everything. I use the phone, I used it completely. So display, battery, camera, I guess weight also, but I think I can live with heavy phones. So my choices are Mi 11 Ultra, Mi Mix. No, it's not Mi Mix anymore. It's Xiaomi Mix 4, which is not out yet. I'm not sure if it's out. It's going to be out in my country, because so the Mix series used to be available in my country, the first Mix and Mix 2, but the Mi Mix 3 never came to my country. So I'm not sure if the Mix 4 will come to my country, but that is my choice. And Fold 3. Money isn't an issue. It is a consideration, and it is a value. It's a value to my choice. So if it's cheaper, it's nice. It's a plus. So the Fold 3 is actually a negative in that aspect. My biggest problem with Mi 11 Ultra. So the reason that why the choices comes down to those three is because I guess there's an S21 Ultra. I don't like slow charging. The phone is also a bit top heavy. It's slow charging, and this is gonna be a contradictory. I don't really like One UI, so we'll get back to why I chose the Fold 3. But so that's why the S21 Ultra is not in my choice. And then there is another argument about other brands like Vivo and Oppo. Vivo doesn't release flagship phones in my country. Oppo, there's the Find X3, but I don't like that phone. One, it has small battery. Two, it has no periscope zoom lens, which they used to have on the Find X2, and I hate them for that. I do not care about the microscope camera. It is a nice to have, but the periscope I actually use. That is the reason why the Find X3 is not in my choice. iPhone, no argument. I don't like iPhone. I don't like iOS specifically. There's so much restrictions, and I cannot even download unofficial apps. Like I use an app called Anime X. I use it every day. So and the folder issue. Well, there's a lot of development since the last time I went here. And you cannot easily access folders, and there's issues with putting videos and photos, and other apps cannot, like VLC cannot scan for those. There's so much hassle through the folders issue, and apps giving permission to access folders, and there's so much shit. I don't care about iOS. I don't want to use iOS. What else? Xiaomi Asus ROG is nice, but it's also heavy, and camera is meh. So that's out. That's a really niche phone for gaming, specifically only for gaming. What else? Motorola is not in my country. LG is out. We all know. RIP LG. I'm trying to remember brands. Nokia is not in my country, but Nokia doesn't release flagships anymore. OnePlus, I have issues with getting one. I will not buy another OnePlus anymore. Just because of my specifically just because of my experience with OnePlus 7 Pro, I have a lot of issues with that phone. But now even if they release a good phone, like I have to import the phone, and importing phones here is kind of shitty. So no, I'm trying to now I only want to buy phones that is officially here. So Oppo, Vivo, what else? Am I missing something? There's a lot of brands, but there's only budget brands. What else is good? So, I don't remember. On top of my head, I don't remember. But so there's only 3 options for me. So the first is Mi 11 Ultra. I like the Mi 11 Ultra. Hardware is really nice. Can we not? Is this the only place? Cannot go further. Okay. Can I even make this turn? I fucked up. My bad. My bad. I should have went left a little bit first. Beach is still closed, but the only reason I went here is because for the view. There is no way I'm getting out of this car in this heat. Mi 11 Ultra. I like the hardware. It's almost perfect. Camera is nice. It's beast. The camera is beast. Performance is nice. Everything is nice. 3. I think it's 3. Hold on. I guess it's just 2. The two biggest problems with Mi 11 Ultra for me is, first of all, it's really top heavy. I've held the phone, it's top heavy. Okay. So first is it's top heavy, and second, even if it has a big battery, for some reason, like this problem is, like, everyone has this problem. The Mi 11 Ultra doesn't have great battery life. That's a big problem. It's even worse, or if it's for I think some people say that it's even on par with S21, which it's a 4000 mAh battery, if I remember correctly. Yes, it's 4000, and that's kind of equivalent of that. That's a problem. Some people say that it's even worse. I know people have different usage, but I think it's universally, like, it has a bad battery life universally. No one said, even with light use, no one said they have a good battery life with this phone. And battery life is really important for me. That's like my main point. Like, ever since I use a Huawei Mate 40 Pro, I have zero battery anxiety. That is because that is becoming my #1 importance of a phone: battery life. Not charging, battery life. Charging is nice, but battery life is way more important. So yeah, I don't like that aspect of Mi 11 Ultra. Xiaomi Mix 4. So Xiaomi Mix 4, even though so Mix 4 has smaller battery, but reportedly has better battery life, and I believe that, because even though Mi 11 Ultra showed that it has shit battery life, because there's more to battery life than usage, than capacity, than even software. It's kind of software, but battery has different controllers, by the way. So if you change, if Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra has shit battery life but bigger battery, but if they change the controller on the Mix 4, or different types, different factory, if they get a different supplier for the battery, it can change the quality of the battery, and it can change, like I believe that it can have better battery life, even though it's the same brand, the same software, the same version of the software, but different phone, different motherboard, different chipset. I can believe that the Mix 4 can have a better battery life than the Mi 11 Ultra, because there is way more factors about battery life than usage, than battery, than even software. There is a hardware difference for having a better battery life. So I believe I would, so just there is a little review about the Mix 4, because there's only a little amount, there's only a few amount of people that has this phone and has reviews on that on YouTube, but all of them seems to have a better battery life than the Mi 11 Ultra. So Mix 4 has good battery life. It doesn't have an amazing battery life, it has a good battery life. It has a good enough camera. It has, I think main shooters nowadays is software dependent, and especially in just broad daylight, every camera is good. Just depends on the software, where if there's a UI lag or shutter delay or stuff like that. But broad daylight, most phones do well. The only downgrade from the Mate 40 Pro to the Mix 4 is the periscope camera, which it has 8 megapixel. My phone has 13 megapixel. The Mi 11 Ultra has, I think, also 13, or I forgot if it has higher or not. I'm gonna check this place if there is a lot of people hanging out or not. I just want to know so I can bring my parents. I think it's not crowded, but it is hot. Actually, this place is usually better in evenings, and I'm not sure if it's crowded in evenings. Okay, so back to the Mix 4, right? So it has arguably worse, not that way worse, but it's way better than not having periscope zoom lens. But it is a downgrade from my Mate 40 Pro. Display is 1080 120 Hz if I remember correctly. Super AMOLED under display fingerprint, so it's basically the same as Mate 40 Pro. I actually prefer 1080 over 1440p. That's I mean, if I can, I'll explain later. I'll explain later why having 1080 is better than 1440p, even though you can lower the resolution to 1080. There is a reason. There is an explanation for that. I'll talk about it later after I talk about why I choose the Fold 3. So it's inferior camera, but still okay. Overheating. Okay. I'm kind of sad about the camera. So the recording was only 34 minutes and it's already overheating. And then there's apparently the battery is on 8%. I'm not sure. So only this is 4K and it only recorded for 34 minutes. This battery was full. This is a battery that I bought. It's Kingma. It's the brand is Kingma. It's a third party. I'm not sure if it's because it overheat, because well, it's the camera is overheated, so I full blasted on my AC. So the battery kinda died 8%. Camera is overheating, and then now I'm not sure what happened, but I think there's like I see like a little bit of fog inside the front display and the camera itself. I'm not sure if it's gonna go away. I don't think it's affecting the camera, but there is a little bit of fog. The camera never went into water. I will give note to that. I'm not sure because it's also because I full blasted into my AC, but I think it's already like that. It wasn't before the recording. I'll check it. I'll check it later. So back to the Mix 4. No, we're still talking about Mix 4. Right? So the biggest problem with the Mix 4, I like the phone. 1080, 120 hertz under display camera for a good battery, decent camera with periscope zoom lens. My problem is first MIUI. I've used MIUI phones. It's not the best UI ever. It has a lot of features, but has a little annoyance. I think MIUI is fine. I can live with MIUI, definitely. It's not the biggest reason why I don't choose this phone. The biggest problem is availability, basically. MIUI also affects my choice. Not a biggest fan. I have a Redmi Note 10 Pro. I'm not saying that MIUI is shit. I'm saying it's not the best choice. Just like One UI, I'm not a fan. So availability, I don't know when it's gonna be released. I'm not sure if it's gonna be released in my country. So I kind of don't wanna wait. So my choices boils down to 11 Ultra or Volt 3, and I already told the negative things about the Mi 11 Ultra. So why I chose the Fold 3, even though the Fold 3 is reviews that I've watched, it's kind of mixed. Some people say it's okay battery life, some people say it's good battery life, and I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it in more in depth about the battery life. But I did say that I don't like One UI that much, and it has slow charging. Reported that it's 0 to 100 is 1 hour 30 minutes, but that is 0 to 100. The first 20% or 10%, Samsung is usually really slow, and Samsung only picks up the charging really fast in, I think it's around 50 or 60 to 80. That's when the charging is really fast. I think the charging is pretty fast in that around percentage. 60. Why am I in here? Ooh, I should have went there. Oh. So charging is an issue. Battery life, I won't say that's going to be a big issue. I need to use it myself, obviously. So charging is an issue, which is I find kind of important. Another thing is no periscope zoom lens, which is I did say that is important to me. I will talk about it. So the biggest reason why I chose the Fold 3 is because of showing off, basically a flex point. I can flex that to my coworkers, and I know I'm sounding kind of like a douche, but it's like my happy point. Oh, I cannot make a U-turn here. Hold on. I'll make a U-turn later. I'll park here for a little bit. Want to gather some thoughts. So that is the biggest reason. That is probably also I've been wanting foldables since the first fold. And this is gonna sound a little bit cringe, but I've actually dreamt that I had the foldable in my hand, and I've actually dreamt it. I like technology, okay? The first curved screen, I didn't have it. It was the I think it was called the Note, Galaxy Note Flex or something like that. But the first mainstream curved display was the S6. I had the S6, but I had it flat for a different reason. But I do like that technology, and I love innovation. I love technology. So flex screen, I enjoyed seeing the flex screen. The first glass phone, iPhone 4, that was really cool. The pop-up camera, I love pop-up camera. But I know I'm not gonna use another pop-up camera just because first of all, my first phone with a pop-up camera, which is the Oppo Reno 10 times zoom, that was stolen. I'm still sad about that. I'm really sad about my phone getting stolen. I really like the pop-up camera. That's really cool. I don't know, if I see like those technologies, I'm just really happy. It gives a smile to my face. So pop-up camera, that was really fun. Periscope zoom lens is also something that I advocate and I really love. And now I want a foldable. I want to try new stuff. I want to try innovation. I want to flex it to the people I know, to my families, to my friends, to my coworkers. It's not because I'm a douche that I'm better than you. No, it's just I want to see their reaction seeing this technology, and I want to explain them why this is cool and stuff like that. That's the reason why I ultimately choose the Fold. I don't know if it doesn't have periscope zoom lens, it doesn't have really great battery, but to be fair, there is no phones outside Huawei and iPhones that has a really great battery life. Samsung doesn't have a great battery life. I'll explain later why this is the case. If you are in the US, you can get the Samsung S21 Ultra. It will have a good battery life, but the rest of the world, especially in Asia, I'm not sure about Europe, but in Asia it doesn't have a spectacular battery life like you guys in US. This is actually another topic for another video. It's pretty long, I think. So it doesn't have good battery life. It doesn't have great battery life. It has good battery life, but I need to use the phone to know that it is good battery life. Right? Camera, it doesn't have periscope zoom lens, but my argument is sorry, I am sniffing. Okay, so my argument about the camera, it doesn't have periscope zoom lens, but D10X, for some reason, I don't know what magic Samsung, I'm not sure what Samsung did to that phone, but The 10x for a camera that is only 2x OIS, for a camera that is only 2x OIS, it produces the best 10x zoom I have ever seen on that camera. The Fold 2 to Fold 3, there is so much improvement for the cameras, and they use the same exact hardware. I didn't check the model number, but I do check from GSM Marina. It has the same sensor size. All of them are exactly the same, based on GSM Marina specs, based on the megapixel sensor size, and f-points. It is the exact same camera, but it produces better cameras, better results. So that is all algorithm. And their 10x is, I would say, comparable with an 8 megapixel periscope. It cannot go further than 10x, which is a shame. I do not like that. I like choices, and 20x digital is fine. It's gonna look ugly, I know, but I wish I can get further 10x. Samsung 20 FE has 30x. Why can't the Fold 3 has 30x? If I remember correctly, S21 FE, S20 FE has 30x. The S30 FE has 2.5x zoom. I think it is a different lens. But it can zoom to 30, but it is ugly. But choices is good. Not sure why I'm sniffing. Let's go back. Let's start. Let's go. Yeah, let's go back. So that's my argument on the Fold 3 camera. It is comparable with a periscope, so it's fine. It's not what I wanted, but I think it's going to be fine. Battery life, I think it's going to be fine. My problem is gonna be charging, I think, on this phone. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why my sinus. Sure about what happened to my nose. So Mi 11 Ultra has way superior camera, but I ultimately chose the Fold 3 just because it is a foldable, and I've been wanting a foldable for a long time, and I think the price point is, it's not that I cannot afford a $2,000 foldable phone. So the Fold 2 in my country used to be really expensive. It's more expensive than US. I think it's about more than $2,200 for some reason. Now the price is about the same as the US. So the Fold 2 was ultra expensive in my country. It was 33 million. Now the Fold 3 is 25 million. The Fold 2 second hand is 22 million. I know those numbers are really confusing if you are from the US, but I cannot convert real time in my head right now. $1 is 14 14,200 rupees. So what I'm trying to say is Fold 3's price is manageable. I think it is worth it rather than 33 million rupees. No, it's 25 million rupees. I think the Fold 3 is worth it in my opinion. It's the same. It's about no wait no it's this the 256 gigs is the same price as the iPhone 12 Pro Max 512 gigs when it first launched, and it's a freaking foldable. The iPhone 12 Pro Max doesn't have a periscope zoom lens, doesn't have a higher refresher, but arguably iPhones are pretty smooth. It is a brighter display. I think iPhone 12 Pro Max is okay, I think it's the same brightness. I think iPhone 12 Pro Max is 1200 nits, right? Or is it 1000 nits? Okay, let's forget about the brightness. iPhone has a face ID, which which I find it nice to have, not necessarily important. iPhone doesn't have a fingerprint, which I find more important. My Mate 40 Pro has both, which is really nice. I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss having Face ID that I can use at night and fingerprint. I'm gonna miss using both. Mate 40 Pro is really just the best of both worlds. For I think if you're moving from iPhone, like I've seen like so many polls recently. People are asking if for iPhone users want to move to Android, which phone they should use. And if you're in the US, okay, in the current situation, there are some people that are saying that Samsung is the best option. I think I agree. A lot of people that say Pixel, no, because Pixel has shitty hardware. Actually, Google has not figured out the hardware. Samsung has figured out the hardware. Samsung has the best hardware. No. Okay, Samsung has a great hardware, but if it weren't for the Google sanction on Huawei, if people ask which brand should I go from Apple, it should have been Huawei, because the battery life is it's fucking insane. The battery life on the Huawei Mate 40 Pro is insane. I have never have a great battery life as good as an iPhone, and on top of that, it has a Face ID. It's what's basically a Face ID. It's a 3D scanning face ID, 3D face recognition, which is basically Face ID. You can use it at night, and it has an under display fingerprint. It doesn't have to be under display. It has a fingerprint sensor. Oh, Huawei is the brand that is an Android based brand that is actually comparable with the iPhone. If it weren't for no Google services, I love this phone, but it's inconvenient as shit without Google. Trump Biden administration, you guys win in this aspect, okay? You guys kill Huawei for me. And now I'm moving to Samsung. That's my stand on the situation. I'm moving from Huawei to a foldable. The only reason why I even want to move is because I just really want to use a foldable. I've been wanting to use a foldable. I'm a techie. I like phones. I like innovation. I want to use the best new thing. Sorry. And I didn't buy the Fold 1 because it is more expensive than the Fold 3 when it came out in my country. I want the best thing, but also price is a consideration for me. And now I think it's the best time for me to switch to try new platform, foldables. Okay, I'm trying to justify myself because it's still I'm still arguing with myself, why did I buy this phone? And the phone is not gonna be out for a month. Starbucks, boys. Okay, let's go over topics that I said that I was going to talk about. I'm trying to remember. I remember that I want to talk about the 1440p to 1080 argument. So let's start with that because I don't remember what I was going to talk about. The reason why you should not buy a 1440p phone, even though you can switch it to 1080. So this is something that I just learned from Linus Tech Tips, and I think that is correct. I did a little quick research on it. I think it makes sense. So a 1440p display and 1080 display. Why 1440p? I'm just gonna say Quad HD. Why Quad HD display suck up more battery life than 1080p? It is actually not the resolution that is sucking up the battery life. It is actually the density of the display. So Quad HD has more pixel, hardware wise it has more pixel density, so it's more light to brighten up the screen. So even though if you switch your Quad HD display to 1080, what it's doing is it is still shooting enough light to brighten up the Quad HD screen, but your GPU doesn't have to work as hard as the GPU doesn't have to work as hard as if you are running Quad HD. So what I'm saying is, if you switch a Quad HD display to 1080 resolution, you're only saving battery from your GPU. It is still sucking up battery from trying to brighten up the display, which is a more dense display than a 1080p display. Now, why I believe this is because I used to have a OnePlus 7 Pro, and I've noticed that I feel like if I switch from Quad HD, motherfucker overheated again. Okay, I will explain it from the start. Why 1080 is better than 1440p. Why it saves more battery life, even though if you have 1440p, I'm gonna say Quad HD, I forgot. I'm gonna say Quad HD. So why it's better to buy a 1080 better than Quad HD, even though you can switch from Quad HD to 1080. So this is what I've learned. Okay, I'll do it fast. Quad HD has a more pixel density, so it needs to brighten up the screen more. Because I don't know when the footage cut out, so it needs more power, it needs more light to brighten up the full Quad HD screen. So what happens if you switch Quad HD to 1080 is that you're saving battery life from your GPU. Your GPU doesn't need to work as hard as it needs to run in Quad HD, because you switch it to 1080. But the light still needs to be brightened up, because hardware it is still a Quad HD display, because it has a way more dense. It's a more dense screen. So the reason why I believe this is because I used to have a OnePlus 7 Pro, and in my OnePlus 7 Pro, I've tried this switching Quad HD to Full HD in a month each, and I felt like I should have saved more battery when switching to Full HD. But what ends up happening is I almost not feel a difference. It is like I've saved like half an hour of screen on time, basically. It's not even a half an hour, it's like 20 minutes or something, like based on this average screen on time that I get from going Full HD from Quad HD. So I do believe that this is the case. So even though if you bought a Quad HD display and you switch it to Full HD, do not expect as good as a battery life as you would have bought a Full HD screen display. That is my argument why you should have, if you care about battery life, do not buy Quad HD at all, because there is no way you can have, even though you can switch it to Full HD, you won't get as good as a Full HD screen on, like, from the start. Also, the battery dropped down to 47% already. Jesus Christ. I'm not sure if it's a battery issue. I'm gonna use, if it overheats again, I'm gonna switch to the original battery and see if that's the case. I think this is a really bad battery. I think I just bought a really shit battery. I need to exit out from the highway on the next exit. Okay. So that is my argument. I hope I explain it like, I hope I explain it well. I hope that's clear, because I do think that's the case, because I've used so many different phones. I use S6, I use the Galaxy S6, which is a Quad HD display. I use the OnePlus 5, which is a Full HD display. I used a OnePlus 7 Pro, which is a Quad HD and it can switch to Full HD. The Galaxy S6 used to not be able to switch to Full HD, so it has shit battery life. Then I used the Reno 10X Zoom, which is a Full HD. Well, I used the Reno 10X Zoom, then the OnePlus 7 Pro, and now I use the Mate 40 Pro. The Mate 40 Pro is in between Full HD and Quad HD. I think that is, Jesus Christ, bro, that guy just doesn't have time now. He was warning me because I took his lane, and then he tries to cut me, but he like there's a guy behind me, and he cut he basically cut in between, and that was really dangerous. Yeah, don't buy Quad HD display. Huawei Mate 40 Pro and I guess iPhone, but iPhone and Mate 40 Pro is their resolution is in between Full HD and Quad HD, and I think that's the best of both worlds. But I do think you just buy a Full HD display, guys. Like you can. There's a 40-inch TVs that is Full HD, and people still use that. It's fine. A Full HD phones are fine. You do not need Quad HD. You can distinguish from 720 to 1080. 720 is shit. You can actually see the pixels, but 1080 it's fine. There's no reason for you to go higher. And I'm saying this because I want to buy a flagship phone, but now most flagship phones are 1080. I mean 4040p Quad HD. Like stop, just go Full HD, man. That's why I agreed when Samsung S20, I think, yeah, people were arguing that Samsung S21 and S21 Plus is 1080. I think Samsung is right. I think Samsung made the correct move, even though S21 is still a shit battery life because it has small battery and One UI isn't the best in terms of conserving battery life. I need to drink water, but I don't have water on me. I only have chocolate. Whoops. Yeah, I should have bought the water. I should have bought water. So yeah, consumers, shut the fuck up. Full HD display is fine, but I do think if you are going for Full HD instead of Quad HD, you need to justify the price, okay, brands? It doesn't mean you can release a $1,500 phone with a Full HD display. You need to lower that shit, okay? You need to lower that fucking price. It doesn't mean you have a go-to. And the Fold 2 has a 1440p display. Wow. Oh, actually, that's the inner. I'm not sure if I want to check if the inner display is 1080 or. I know the aspect ratio is completely all over the place. Cover display. Oh, okay. The cover display is. What the hell is this? The cover display is 1768 times 2208. What? Wait, I'm so confused. Wait, why is it 374? Okay, I need to check. I need to check the resolution. I'm confused. From GSM Arena, it's confusing. Oh no, it's 832 times 2268. I need the PPI density on this. I cannot calculate the PPI. So the inner display has 374 ppi density. So Quad HD phones, the ppi is around 470 usually. It depends on the display size. So the cover display of the Fold 3 and Fold 2, I'm not sure about the Fold 1. I'm opening up GSM Marina and I open the comparison between Fold 3 and Fold 2. The inner display is basically in between, so that's nice. I'm not sure about the cover display. I think the cover display is equivalent with 1080. The height resolution, which is the taller resolution, so they basically match the resolution with the inner display, which is, I think they have to do that, but the wide part is 832. Oh, it's actually a bit more dense than the Fold 2. So the cover display is a bit more dense than the Fold 2. The Fold 2 is 812. I need the PPI density. So my argument about why Full HD is better than Quad HD, you can measure it with the dense PPI, the density. If it's more dense, it is harder for the display to brighten up, and that sucks more battery life. And if the phone has a really dense pixels, and it can peak, it can have a higher peak brightness, and if you use that higher peak brightness, it will suck more battery life, because they have to work hard. Why are you the car, not this car, there's a car behind me, way behind, that is giving the light. Usually when you flicker your light, means do not pass me, let me pass you. I cannot slow down enough to let you to pass me. The problem is you're slow and we are going left to this exit. Like, why are you giving the light? Some people have. Also, the battery life is 14%. Did I bought the wrong battery? I'm gonna switch. So I'm gonna exit and I'm gonna stop on the side of the road, and I'm gonna change to the original battery, and we'll see if the battery is fucking up. Because I'm not sure if the battery, I'm not sure if it has poor battery because of the overheating. I'm gonna stop around here. I cannot stop here, man. Fine, I'll stop further. I'll go further down. Apparently you cannot stop here. Stop here. This can suck my dick. There's only no parking sign here. There's no stopping sign. The no stopping sign is further down. I don't care. Oh no, I don't care. Fine. This is an exit. I didn't stop completely, by the way. I just slowed down. I'll stop behind that freaking car. Okay, I'll stop recording here. Okay, this is starting becoming from my rant and my experience of my phones to become my rant on this DJI Osmo Action battery. And overheating 3 times. Okay, it is further down, further from the windshield. I place it behind my rear view. I can still see my rear view mirror. I can still see my rear view mirror, but it is behind my rear view mirror. I will figure out the setup, but it is overheating as shit. Oh my god, I'm starting to regret buying this camera. I think the biggest issue is the overheating problem. So I switched. So I had 2 Kingma battery, and now I switched to the original battery, the DJI battery. So I've reviewed the length of the footage. Apparently the Kingma battery lasted me about 40 minutes for 4K 30. The first one was 34 minutes, is because I did used it a little bit standby, and the camera was turned on but I didn't record, so it has last battery life. So this Kingma battery only lasts 40 minutes, so I'm not completely sad about the battery that I purchased. It's not broken, or the battery is not that bad, but it has battery life still. It lasted 40 minutes, but it's kind of shitty. I bought these 2 batteries and the charger for around $25 in US dollars. So I would say it's fine, but now my biggest issue on this camera. Oh, this guy is learning how to drive. Shit. The paper said it's studying, so it's learning to drive. That's why it's slow. So I won't honk or anything. It's fine. Now my biggest issue on using this camera now is, my concern is overheating. So throughout my vlog today, the first footage lasted 34 minutes. It died of overheating first, then the battery is 8%, so I switched it out. The second one was 25 minutes and it died over overheating. The battery life still 47%. Then then I switched the battery just because the battery the battery life was at 12%. It was about to die and I want to switch out to the original right now. But when I stop recording, the LCD turns off because it didn't turn off the camera completely. It said that the LCD is the machine is overheating, and they decided to turn off the LCD even though I stopped recording. So it was going to be overheated. It was going to be, and I touched it and it's really hot. So action camera. So this is my first time using an action camera. This is legit the first time. Also, I'm going to, my last video was, I edited on Premiere, and today or the next day, I'm gonna find time to edit today. I have to edit this video because the footage is split, and when I take the footage from the camera, it splits, so I have to edit the video. I have issues that the Premiere doesn't render well. I use different settings, but it is consistently producing. Like in this scene, this is the place so this is the same place from the last vlog I did. So in this scene, if I compare the footage from the GoPro on my computer screen, of course, to after editing, it's a little bit pixelated. So I'm going to try downloading DaVinci Resolve, try to learn how to use that. I've heard there's a free version. I'm not sure if I can get, if it's completely free, but I'm gonna try DaVinci. If I cannot use DaVinci, then I'm gonna edit on Premiere so I can upload it. What I'm saying is I'm gonna try DaVinci. So it keeps overheating in like about 30 to 40 minutes, and I'm in the car, by the way. This is it's the windshield is not that hot. No, yeah, the windshield is not that hot. So this is just, the camera is just not that good. To be fair, I am not shooting air conditioner directly into the camera. Like I'm like around the camera, there is no cold wind from the air conditioner, because the air conditioner is shooting on me and goes, of course it's gonna go back to the car, but it's like it's not that hot in the car. It's just the camera is just super hot. How the hell do people use this action camera? I know Indonesia, I know my country, Indonesia, is really hot and there's no wind. So my country doesn't have as much wind as in the US or in the Europe. But I'm in the car and there's an air conditioner. There's a little bit of wind. We're not in outside. I'm just concerned. This action camera just keeps overheating. And I was going to buy the the Insta360 Go 2. Oh, I forgot the name, but it was Insta360, the small thing, the Go 2. And thank God, man, I want to buy that camera because it looks so fun to use, but it's really expensive. And I mean, just judging from this DJI Osmo action camera, it has bigger form factor. It has even a vent. It doesn't have a fan, but it does have a vent. It still overheats like this. Like, man, I don't think I'm gonna buy that Go 2 anymore. My foot was in the brake when the guy went out. The dude better stop, because you should stop before going into another road, like that black car. You have to stop. I'm gonna feel the lens. Okay, it's heating up. Like, it's not that hot right now. I've been recording for 10 minutes. Okay, so the battery is pretty shit. The original battery is holding up, and I think the camera is pretty hot right now. Reason I'm checking the temperatures because right now it's not that hot as as before, because I went through trees and now there's no sun, so the condition is different from what the Kingma battery compare what the Kingma battery went through. It's the condition is different because there's no sun now, but the battery is still like there's it's 10 minutes and they're better. I'll do like 30 to 40 minutes drive. I want to know if the Kingma battery is that bad, way worse. The Kingma battery. So this is the battery that I used. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see it right now, right? And so that's the battery that I use. It's 2 batteries and 1 charger. One packet is about $25. I think it's still fine. Like 40 minutes of footage. Yeah, for backup battery, I think that's fine. And I got 2, so I basically got 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's basically 1 battery, but yeah, I mean, it's cheap. I guess my biggest problem is how long does it last, like over time. Maybe I should maybe I should buy another battery if I go on a long trip outside the country. But right now it's sufficient enough. I think it's fine. It's not that great. The capacity, now there's the argument here, right, about the battery capacities. This is a 1220 milliamp hour battery. It's a little bit smaller than the original battery. The original battery is 13 something milliamp hour battery. It's only 100 milliamp hour battery. But the thing why this battery is way worse is because the real capacity. We don't know the real capacity. The quality, the real capacity, you can get better real capacity. It really depends on the quality of the production. So even though it's a big battery, but if the quality of the production is bad, it has lower real capacity basically. So you don't always trust the milliamp hour battery. It is really hard to measure batteries. That's why my argument why I believe that the Mix 4 has a better battery life than the Mi 11 Ultra, even though it has same software, same brand, same chipset, like similar chipset, but the smaller capacity battery has better battery life than the bigger capacity battery. I believe that because it just depends on the factories, the suppliers. which factory did you get the battery from, what quality, and etc, etc. So if the Mix 4 has a better quality battery than the Mi 11 Ultra, even though it has smaller capacity, well, Mix 4 still wins. It will have a better battery life. Capacity is one thing, software is one thing, display is also one thing for that affects battery life. Resolution, of course, back to Quad HD versus Full HD. But there is also the quality of the battery, the controller on the motherboard that's role is to control the output and input of amount of battery used. Yeah, it's basically all of that affects battery life and your usage, of course. But if you're same person using different phones, and you'll have different experiences, different battery lives. I think this battery is fine. I bought it for 25 bucks and I got 2 and the charger. I think it's fine to use the charger. It's just a charger. It has contact points. It has inputs to charge the battery. I used it to charge my original battery once. I think it's fine. It's just a charger. The only the only danger for bad chargers is when it explodes or when it's on fire. I don't think it's gonna break the original battery. Not sure. I don't think I can find an original charger from DJI, because I searched DJI Osmo Action Camera charger and it only shows Kingma and another brand. So I think I'm fine. I'm using that charger to charge all my. I think it's fine to use that charger, the Kingma charger, to charge all of my battery, even even the original battery. But the battery is bad. But now I know how long the battery lasts. That's the important part. That's the result I want to find on this trip. How long does this battery last? Is the lens hot? Ooh, yeah, okay. It's not as hot as before. I don't think. I hope. Because I want to measure the battery life. I think the DJI is just gonna. DJI's original battery is just way better than the Kingma. It's 18 minutes and it's not even half. It's almost 90 minutes, almost 20 minutes. It's not even half. The original battery rates, I think, rates at 1.5 hour for 4K 30, not for, I think 4K 60 is like closer to 1 hour, and 1080 2 hours maybe. I think, if I remember correctly, that's the rate for the battery. And the Kingma only lasts 40 minutes. Is it fine for me to charge the original battery on the Kingma charger? It's just inputs and outputs though. It's just it it's only a contact point for the copper to get the electricity and input and outputs. The charger is rated I think it was 10.5 watts. It was 5 volts, 2.1 amps, but I'm not sure if that's each or max. I think that was I think that's max, and I think that's 11 watts, and then they distribute to 3 slots. There's 3 slots in the charger. I think it's fine, right? To charge in the charger. Can you guys tell me if it's fine for me to charge my original DJI battery to the KingMod charger? The KingMod charger is, it fits. It's slots. It's just slots like that. It has the same contact points for the battery. It's rated 5 volts, 2.1 amps. I'm not sure how many watts it's how many watts it's outputting for each slots. But I think it's safe, right? It's not gonna degrade the battery. It doesn't charge that fast. I think 5 volts, 2.1 amps is for all 3 slots. And it's evenly distributed, maybe. Concern. Okay, I'm gonna try to find, because I want an external charger. I don't want to charge through the camera itself. I want an external charger, but I'm not sure if DJI has it. I actually need to take a piss. Damn it. I actually need to take a piss. It's 22 minutes and it's not even half. Yeah, I think it's gonna go for 1.5 hours. So it's these 2 batteries is not even equivalent to 1 battery of the original battery. Man. I'll find another charger, I'll find another battery. But I won't buy the battery because this one battery is sufficient enough for me for this kind of recording. I'm not going outside the country yet because COVID. But I do plan going outside to the city. And for just going outside the city, it's enough. Damn it. God damn it, that's so short. What the hell? Curse you, red light. I need to piss. You fucking bitch. It's gonna take a while. Man. But for backup battery is fine, right? It's still 40 minutes. It's a good 40 minutes of footage for the battery. The camera is hot, but not that hot. Not as hot as when when there's sun, when there was a sun shining. Right now it's overcast, so it's not that comparable. Damn it, I really want to compare between the two batteries. This is the charger. I have the charger with me actually. This is the charger. It's a Kingma charger. It is, input is 5 volts 2.1 amps min. The output is 4.35 to 700 milliamps times 3. Oh, that's okay. So 5 volt 2.1 amps is all of it, and it's evenly distributed. So the max output for each slot is 4.35 volt 700 milliamps. It's not that big, so it's not dangerous, right? Yeah, I think I'm fine using this charger. Like, this is just a simple charger. Like, you slot it the battery, and there's you cannot see it, but there's like 2 contact points into over the thing, and there's a USB-C and or a micro V slot. Both are the same. The output, the input the same. The input is the same. So I think using that to charge my original battery is fine. I don't think that kind of charger is dangerous. I think it's fine. Like, it's just a simple board. So 4.35 times 700. So that's 2 watts. 2-ish watts each slot to charge the battery. I think that's normal. But I'm gonna buy batteries. If I want to go outside the country, I'll buy batteries. I'll buy an additional 1 or 2 original batteries if I can find the original battery. If not, I'll buy another brand and test it out. The urge to piss is not as bad as when the car stopped. For some reason, I'm feeling fine again. The urge to piss is less now. I think I can last like longer. Yeah, so it's 28 minutes and I don't think that's 50%. I think it's still hovering. I think it's still hovering between 70 to 50. Maybe I think it's closer to 50 now, but it's not. Yeah, I think it's going for like 1 hour 20, 1 hour 10 minutes, or even 1 hour 30 minutes for 4K 30. The Kingma only lasts 40 minutes. Like, both of them consistently only lasted 40 minutes. The first one is 34 minutes again because I used it a little bit, but I wasn't recording. Wait, no, wait, I used it, but it was before the Starbucks. Oh, I need to check how long was that. I think both consistently 40 minutes, 40-ish minutes, like 42, 43 minutes. I think 42 minutes. I think I'll rate the battery for 42 minutes for 4K30, the Kingma batteries. I'll buy another battery if there's a long trip. But right now with COVID, this is the best I can do. Just riding through Jakarta, and yeah, that's about it. Cannot go outside the country and have holiday. I haven't had holiday. The last time I went outside the country is 2018, but there was a short trip. The last actual holiday I had was 2017. Was 4 years ago. I went to China for a month. That was really nice. That was an actual holiday for me. The last time I went outside the country is Singapore, but it was a pretty short trip, so, and it wasn't that relaxing for me. It wasn't really a holiday, so I will not count that as a holiday. The last holiday I had was 4 years ago. 2017, around it was around July, like in the middle of July to August, to early August. It was a month trip. I had fun. It was really fun going to China. 2017. I want to go back. Back in 2020. Back in 2019, I was planning on a trip for 2020. So after my contract expires, my previous work, my contract expires at, my contract was going to be expired at May 2020. So I plan to go to Japan for a month, and well, COVID happens. So right now I'm in heat. I want to go outside the country with family, but I cannot. And currently I'm doing this vlog thing, driving and stuff. It's trying to cope the fact that I cannot go outside the country. I even bought this camera. Is